Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. I have never analyzed the Rolling Stones before, and I don't even know that I've listened to their music. I've been told that I must have heard them in passing, but I don't know enough to be able to tell you what song it was or name any other title than the one for today, which I only know because I read the prep document before I hit record. This is going to be quite the education. Let's get to it. Oh! I'm sorry. First impression of the voice is just him yelling at me, screaming at me. Yow! Oh, goodness. My goodness. I really like the drums and what they've set up here. Sorry. Ooh, and speeding up. I like that.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm May, Will, and Chase. I've been around for a long, long year. Stole many a man's soul and faith. I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain. Made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands, sealed his fate.
Oh my gosh. There's so much to take in right now. Just so much. His entire vocal tone is, it feels like there's so many contradicting elements in it. And then, of course, all of these really fun sounds that he just started us off with. I wasn't sure if we were going to hear a high voice or a low voice or a medium voice when he was going to start singing. I just heard really, really cool sounds and thought this person sounds like they explore their vocal expression quite well. The one thing that's really sticking out other than wild vocalizations is that groove. It has a lightness to it. There's so much fun. It feels like something you would just totally dance to, but then when he started singing, it had a little heaviness, like a little bit of introspection going on. So fascinating there. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning one more time. I also loved the shift in tempo. I love it when tempo isn't just totally flat the whole time, totally steady. I think that the increased speed as we went along was really scintillating. What an intro! It's almost like he was doing upper constriction screams before they were popular. Maybe he made them popular, and then it's just wild man. I like the piano in there too.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm May, Will, and Chase. I've been around for a long, long year. Stole many a man's soul and faith.
So many contradictory facets in his voice. He's sometimes specific about pitch and then sometimes very not specific about pitch. While having like fundamentally what it sounds like to me more deep sound, he has focused it very forward, gets a lot of clarity on it, and even makes it a little pressed. Like the sound almost like naturally wants to be a little more sonorous baritone. Like There's a natural extra resonance in there, but it sounds like it's been funneled through to give it a little more edge. And the big first thing that really stands out is just, it's a sound that feels like it can really tell a story. Well, it sounds like I want to listen to the words that he's singing and understand all of the thoughts and emotions he has behind them. Going back a little more.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
So that first line, while there's a lot of what is considered the same pitch, if you were to stick this in a tuner, you would see that it's not directly on that pitch. It's not like perfectly lined up. A lot of times when we think about good singing, great singing, we're thinking about people who are really great at nailing pitch. They don't need a tuner. Gosh, I hate that phrase, don't need a tuner. I don't really think that a tuner is necessarily needed in any case, unless you're trying to put together a choir that's remote. Maybe you need a tuner then. In this case, like, it's really clear. You don't have any melodyne on his voice. You don't have any autotune. And it's got a lot of slight excursions from the pitch. And it adds, actually, to the interest in the story he's about to tell.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm May, Will, and Chase. I've been around for a long, long year. So many a man's soul and faith. I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain.
So when I said he's really deliberate with the pitch while also not being specific at the same time, I'm really thinking about the ending of all of these phrases, like bow, 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 bow. He's doing these deliberate slides off just at the very ends of the pitches. And the rest, it's like he allows it to go outside of the pitch a little bit to be more expressive.
Hey, I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain. Made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands, sealed his fate. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Oh yeah. But what's puzzling you is just the nature of my game.
So to give you a little taste of my naivete, for the longest time, I thought that the Rolling Stone magazine was about the Rolling Stones. Apparently there's like this whole legal thing that happened between them, but I got majorly corrected not too long ago on that. I was like, wow, I really need to learn more about music history. There's always more we can learn about music history. I've done a lot of study in classical music history, obviously, but this is a piece of contemporary music history that I have just been missing and had totally different ideas about. I'm gonna go back a little and keep going.
Meet you. Hope you guess my name. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But what's puzzling you is just the nature of my game.
He's also doing this thing with his lips where he kind of like flutes them away from his teeth a lot. That can often add to a little more depth in the sound, like a little more heightening of resonance, except for he's also pulled back and often fluting them around his teeth, which when you pull back here, and you add a little more teeth to the sound, it brings more brightness in. So again, these like weird contradictions in his sound.
Oh yeah. But what's puzzling you is just the nature of my game. Stuck around St. Petersburg when I saw it was the time for a change. Killed the Tsar and his ministers, Anastasia screamed in vain. I rode a tank and a general's rank when the blitzkrieg raged and the body stank. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
This is just fascinating. Whenever we go back to greats and I'm hearing them for the first time, I always feel like I'm trying to understand how these puzzle pieces fit together, right? You think about like a band like Rush, and I was told by so many people that I would absolutely hate Geddy's voice. And then I heard them, I was like, no. I actually love his sound. It's very particular, but I love his sound within Rush. It works so well together. It's like the band developed their sound around their musicians, and it all came together brilliantly and just balanced out so well. I really, I think it is so perfectly suited. I'm listening to the whole sound here and listening to, there's this like a sort of a primal edge to the Rolling Stones, to the whole sound that they've got going on. There's fun in it, there's storytelling in it, but there's a primal edge in the entire sound. And I hear that in his sound. It's got that low, like, I don't know, little caveman quality to it, right? But then it's got this a little bit of distortion, a little growl on the sound too, that makes it feel more primal. And there's an energy, and I feel like there's a need for the music, but not just the music. It's like a need for their message to just burst. It's fascinating. I'm going back somewhere.
Oh, yeah. But what's puzzling you is just the nature of my game. Stuck around St. Petersburg when I saw it.
I love the percussion.
For a change. Killed us all and his ministers. Anastasia screamed in vain. I rode a tank, had a generous rank. I went to blitzkrieg rage and the body stank. Pleased to meet you.
You know, I think that he's just oozing with charisma. There aren't many people that feel like they inhabit the entire role of a performer, and everything about him makes me interested in him. He's like, how does he do that? By the way, a lot of people, when they hear the charismatic voice, they think that I was referring to me. And that was not ever the intended case. When I created the name The Charismatic Voice, it was to apply to all of the singers we were analyzing. That how did they become charismatic? What is it about the voice that captures us? His is like mega charismatic, okay? But in case you ever wondered, the charismatic voice is not about me. It's about all of these incredible singers. I'm gonna go back again.
Change. Killed us all and his ministers. Anastasia screamed in vain.
It's a fascinating story.
Had a generous rank. I went to blitzkrieg rage and the body stank. Pleased to meet you.
I really like how before pleased to meet you, there's often an extra measure in there. A lot of times we keep things in 4/4 time, and often not just 4/4 time, but there'll be like a square amount of measures, meaning also that there's 8 measures or 4 or 16. It's a very mathematically easily divisible, it makes sense to our brains, and there's a repetitive pattern that our brains have come to expect. When there's this extra measure right before pleased to meet you each time, I am delighted by a slight breaking of my expectation. Go back a little bit again.
I went to blitzkrieg rage and the body stank.
1. Boom.
Pleased to meet you.
Let me actually bring it back a little bit so you can feel where that's come from, and I'll try and count out. I'm going to go back quite a ways. I'm going to try and count out where those squared measures are.
Stuck around St.
2,
Petersburg when I
3,
saw it was the time for a
4,
change.
1,
killed us all and his
2,
ministers. Anastasia screamed in
4,
vain.
1,
I rode a tank and a
2,
generous rank. I went to
3,
blitzkrieg rage and the
4,
fire stank.
1, 2. See, that's that extra measure there. So it was like
Hope you guess
right there. I started counting 1 again when actually it was like a 5th measure in there. And then where you started on Pleased to Meet You, that would have been the beginning of 1 again. It's a really nice compositional technique, which I'm honestly a little bit surprised it hasn't continued more in contemporary music today. We do hear it sometimes, that sort of unexpected extra measure. And things like that actually I think are more common to hear in some electronic music. But I'd love to hear this incorporated more into just mainstream pop as well.
I went to blitzkrieg rage and the body stank. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Ah, yeah.
This makes you want to move.
Confusing you is just the nature of my game.
Huh. There's actually elements I hear of this like sing-speak style that's in the Dire Straits here. I'm really fascinated by how every now and then he's really elongating something into it feels more like elongated speech rather than just singing, but he's keeping it at the same volume and he's hanging out in that same pitch area. It's a nice hybrid feeling between speech and singing.
The nature of my game. I watch with glee while your kings and queens fall for 10 decades. For the God save me. I shouted out, Gail Kennedy. Well, after all, it was you and me. So let me please introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. And I'll eat track for troubadours.
Sitting?
Yeah, before they reach Bombay.
I was expecting him to do like some sort of drop spin move or something. Instead, he just sat down. I have heard Mick Jagger's name before, and I knew it, but didn't know who it referred to. I knew it from a Maroon 5 song, Got the Moves Like Jagger. I studied that song when I was working on some music production at one point. It was looking really at the pop music production. And I was like, I don't know who this person is they're referring to, but they must be a good dancer, having no clue that it was referring to the Rolling Stones. No clue. It wasn't until I realized as we were preparing for this, I was like, oh, is that the same person that was, oh my gosh, years ago? The knowledge finally dawns on me. His mouth movement is awesome. And I want to talk a little bit about how that's affecting his delivery after we watch it.
Gail Kennedy. Well, after all, it was you and me. So let me please introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. And I'll eat track for troubadours who get here before they reach Bombay. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. But one person you is just the nature of my game.
All right, this mouth movement is contributing to a very direct, at times aggressive enunciation. There's so many different ways you can choose to enunciate something and have it be understood well too. The clear enunciation doesn't just mean it's really big enunciation. But when you're looking at classical training, which is what a lot of our traditional vocal technique is built off of, we tend to have a lot more mouth movement, a lot more open mouths as well. And then you get into some contemporary singing, you start to see people close their mouths more and get a lot closer to a microphone. This change in enunciation and delivery is largely due to having a microphone. If you don't have a microphone and you still need to get your words out to thousands of people, you need to have more pronounced pronunciation. And if you have a microphone and you're still having this big enunciation, which is not a bad thing, it's actually really great for tons of different styles and purposes, then you tend to have a much more explosive enunciation. It's more powerful. And this works really well for this like super direct grabbing delivery. It wouldn't work as well in a lot of grunge or even a lot of this like sort of softer pop mainstream music that we hear today. Billie Eilish is a great example where it's a lot more casual and very personal. You don't want to overdo it and push a listener away. If it's something where you want to be heard almost like you're a close friend or whispering in someone's ear, you bring that mic a lot closer and you move your mouth a little bit less, but make sure you still have really clear vowels and enunciation. Just reduce the intensity of them. His enunciation is very intense. His mouth movement is very intense, and it works so well for the sound.
Pleased to meet you.
I just wanted to point out there's a great shadow vowel here. You. Just would be you, but is a shadow vowel.
Pleased to meet you.
You.
Hope you guess my name. But what's buzzing you is just the nature of my game. I get down with it. Pleased to meet you.
I have to tell you, I heard a story about this song ahead of time. Kirk, my husband, was telling me about introducing his mom to Guitar Hero with this song. And he really liked playing this on Guitar Hero. And I feel like that's a really good solo to play on Guitar Hero. There was some cool variation, but it wasn't too complicated at the same time. It taught some syncopation too. I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be a great guitar solo here. One more time.
Just the nature of my game. I get down with it.
Nice. I love that re-entry to the Pleased to Meet You there. That was awesome. And one more side note about games before we continue in the song. For me, the best music game is Beat Saber. No, this is not sponsored. If you have a VR headset or you're interested in playing VR, or you can go to like an arcade and try VR out. They will most likely have Beat Saber there. I love playing Beat Saber because you feel like this like totally wicked Jedi with lightsabers, but you're also a part of the band and slashing blocks and inside the music. It's so much fun. I love music games. I love the way that's been I love the way that music experience has been brought into video games, and Beat Saber for me is just one of the best. Okay, back and we'll keep going.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. But what's puzzling you is just the nature of my game. Yeah. Just as every cop is a criminal. only need of some restraint.
Wow.
If you meet me, have some courtesy, have some sympathy, and some taste. For all your well-learned politics, or I lay your soul to waste.
So that's the verse where we finally have like the have some sympathy moment. I think that these lyrics are just, what's the right word? Captivating? I started reading them and read through the whole thing before taking a listen here. So fascinating to hear these historical moments of slaughter described as being essentially the action of the devil who's singing this song. This is from the perspective of the devil. And I thought Sympathy for the Devil, I felt like, he was going to try and plead to us, was my first idea from just the title. Like he should be pleading to us to take his side. But no, it actually is a threat. Like, you better have sympathy for me or I'm going to come after you. What? That doesn't make me feel sympathetic. It makes me feel fearful. But the whole set of lyrics just made me step back and go, wow, this is such a statement about humanity. So I like that it isn't really until this moment that sympathy is mentioned and is after basically terrorizing us with all of the things that have gone wrong in the world. Like, hugely wrong.
Some restraint. So if you meet me, have some courtesy, have some sympathy, and some days. For all your well-learned politics, or I lay your soul to waste.
I just want to point out also, when he does these slides, it is very intentionally around either the ends of phrases or specific words. So all was the word here that had a big slide. It felt like it was all encompassing of a ton of pitches. So it isn't I don't think that the sliding is a crutch in any way for Mick Jagger. It is a vocal expression. It's a unique style that he's developed.
Politics.
Back further.
There it is. Politics, or I lay your soul to waste. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Yeah. But what's buzzing you is just the nature of my game. Yeah. Get down with it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd been thinking earlier that some of his interjections kind of made me think of Michael Jackson, and that ooh-hoo, I swear Michael Jackson picked that up. I wonder if he was a big influence.
Yeah. All right.
The falsetto ooh-hoo. Huh. Again.
All right. All right.
His falsetto has like a certain... There's extra air in the sound. It almost sounds like the chords really just don't want to come together there. Maybe from singing on the edge a little too much, but it might just be a choice too. And some people's falsetto normally or naturally does have a little more air coming through, kind of depending on their anatomy. I think it's fascinating though to hear how much air was in the sound there. Compare that to Michael Jackson falsetto, you'll hear a lot more closure, not as much in the sound.
All right.
Right?
All right. Oh, baby. All right. All right. All right. Ooh, woo. Ooh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's having so much fun. He added that little bit of distortion in the falsetto there almost reminded me of a little bit of Judas Priest, a little Rob Halford. I feel that his exploration of the voice and different sounds here should influence so many people coming after. I don't know who all was influenced by his particular expressions, but they feel so authentic and unique that it feels like certain greats that I've heard, I hear elements of them and how they might have been incorporated into other styles later. Fascinating. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Whew. I did not expect that. It's just a shirt. It's just a shirt, y'all. And tattoos. Which we got a nice close-up of very blurry close-up. Quick discussion about what's happening in his voice when you hear these two different sounds. Falsetto is the highest registers that most male voices sing in. While you can find access to whistle register, a lot of guys don't. So that is, and it's not used very much in music. Falsetto is used quite a bit, and that's that highest, more breathy timbre that you hear. So highest pitches, most breathy timbre, although you can cross registers, so falsetto would come lower. And then sometimes we'll refer to it as modal or even just first register, and falsetto would be second. Where he's singing lower is, we could call it also chest voice. This lower area and these two registers are really defined by what muscles in the larynx are most active. So in this lower area, it's TA dominant in the sound, meaning that the thyroarytenoid is really calling the shots. The vocal folds are thicker, so the muscles on the side of the vocal folds, and these go wacka, 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 right? Like 440 times per second if it's concert A. Wacka, wacka, wacka. If they're thicker, they have more engagement from the TA muscle on the sides here. And they're also shorter. Kind of like when you take a rubber band, if you stretch it, it gets thinner on the sides, right? Versus closer together, it gets thicker. So TA dominant applies to lower registers. Thyroarytenoid dominant. CT is cricothyroid. Cricothyroid stretches the vocal ligament, so your vocal folds get longer and thinner. And you can have a mixture of these two. If it's CT dominant but still has a lot of TA involved, we usually call that head voice. But in falsetto, what we see is the TA muscle drops. Often completely, sometimes there's reinforced falsetto where it's a little more involved, but CT is just stretching. So there's actually tends to be a lot more air in the sound. He has extra, but there's a lot more because it doesn't have this whole thing happening, but instead it's got this kind of thing happening, and it's a lot more taut. So when he's going between those low sounds, like it's a really, really big shift. Low sounds, higher sounds in the falsetto. Those shifts are very difficult for singers to coordinate, figure out. And I think it's so much fun to hear him playing around with that shift here.
All right.
Falsetto? Still falsetto. Falsetto? Yeah, falsetto. That would be your lower register there. Yep, lower. Oh my. close-up of the bod. Oh, and he's got the devil on him.
All right.
Is that a tattoo or is that just drawn for this performance? I'm curious. If you know, let me know in the comments.
All right.
I like the way the mic is held, by the way. That's clever.
What's my name? I tell my baby. I tell my baby. What's my name? I want to tell my sweetie. You're my man. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ah, yeah.
And that gravelly sound he's making up there is made with an upper constriction. I think we would probably call that either a rytenoid or ariepiglottic folds, like a rattle that's going on. Probably ariepiglottic folds from the quality of the sound, but I could be wrong there. I think it's important to mention that because a lot of people try to create that gravelly sound with their two vocal folds, and that just is going to make your throat irritated and upset. So you're looking for a different spot in the throat, okay?
All down. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right.
It really feels like he's giving directions to the band to say, hey, chill it out now. We're pulling this down. And he went back down to his first register there to do that as well. It's so fascinating to me how "aw yeah" and "all right" and "ooh-hoo" are basically all of the sounds we've got at this point. There's this entire story and arc that has happened without any actual lyrics. I don't know what that arc actually is. I don't know what the story is there, but it feels wild.
Tell me, baby.
Tell me, baby. Oh, there we go.
What's my name?
Back to lyrics.
I want to tell my baby. What's my name? I want to tell my sweetie. I gotta come on in.
He's so in the character.
What's my name? I want to tell my sweetie.
He feels like a crazy lady shaking her hands at me like a witch or something. Maybe this is coming from too many operas and watching Hansel and Gretel too many times. But there's something that just feels absolutely unhinged about his performance. And that's amazing in all of the best ways. I love it when you get singers that really go there, that feel like they lose their mind on stage. They're so in the song.
What's my name? I want to tell my sweetie. I gotta come on in. Want to tell my baby. What's my name? I want to tell my sweetie. Yeah, come on in.
What is that move? That's just dancing like we don't care. Wow. What's he saying? What? He's obviously mouthing something at the camera. I don't know. I do kind of wish that bad lip reading or lip reading, I wish that they would do a version of this, because that would be amazing. Aren't you ready? Aren't you ready? I don't know. Huh. Whoa. Wow. That is an experience. What just happened? It feels like we went somewhere else entirely. It was, I haven't got the words. It was magical, but like voodoo magic. Crazy. Oh my gosh. What a crazy first experience with the Rolling Stones. Oh. If you want to see some other first times that just were legendary first times, check out this playlist over here, and may you fall more in love with music every day.